became friends, not friends that became neighbors. These were just strangers to us. But people have offered to put us up in the hotels. We had heating issues last winter, and with no plea, it was just comments. We were looking for someone to work on a boiler, and that was the first response from people trying to put us in a hotel. And it amazes me. So some of that, when you lose something, sometimes you gain something. And I hope this was a gained more than what you guys lost. And for the current board members, you know, this is still your township. By all means, I hope that you stay active. Help the new board members. Obviously, there was a vote, and the vote went differently than what you expected, but that doesn't mean you just run away and move. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of crap going on, not just this township, but this whole damn state that makes us want to move. But at what point do you move and run away, or do you stay and fight? And for those that this has been their community, the township, you've been born and raised here, it's stay active. And for all the community, let this be the lesson learned to stay active. The only way for us to progress or for the township to get better is for the township to stay active. Talk to your neighbors. It's wind today, but it might be solar tomorrow, and God knows what it will be, decades from now. But the community needs to stay as a community. With that, hopefully, best of luck with everyone.
Ryan Witzalkema, Winfield Township. I'd personally like to thank all three of you for your years of service and dedication to this community. I'd also like to thank everybody that voted for myself, Ken and Julia. We ran on a ticket of integrity, transparency, and doing the right thing for the people of this township. So again, I'd like to thank you all and thank everybody that voted for us.
I'd like to thank the current board and the department members for their service, and that the transition goes well, and things we pick back up and go forward and right. So I thank you all.
Thank you, Ken. Someone else? Yes, Mark.
Mark Graham. I want to thank the board, the ones that stayed and the ones that are going and the ones that are coming in, especially about elections. There's never been a question about the integrity of our elections here, and I appreciate what you said. In a time when a lot of elections aren't questions, I think these have been some of the best elections, most secure elections around, and that's the foundation. If we don't believe our elections are secure, we don't have a democracy anymore. And so I want to thank you for that, and I want to say to the incoming board, it was mostly on win. This was basically the issue of win. It's been very divisive, but I hope we can have a time of reconciliation and healing and bringing people back together. Whether you got your point of view, you won or lost, it's like brothers and sisters, that fight. I got kids, and they fight tooth and nail, and then they get back together. And especially my brother. We fought like cats and dogs for years growing up, but he's my brother. And I hope that this township can feel the same way about each other. Whether you support the wind or not, that we can all be family. And I guess that reconciliation, that's what needs to happen. Healing and reconciliation. And I think we have more common ground than we have disagreements. So let's build on that. Thank you.
Someone else?
Jessica Quaker with Winfield Township. Montcalm County has definitely had a huge victory here, but Michigan, we've lost a lot. Proposal 3 passed that protects late-term abortion, partial birth abortion, and dismemberment, tearing apart arms, legs, and cracking open the skull of full-term babies. I had a baby at 36 weeks. She was full-term. She's kicking, screaming. She's fully alive. It allows minors to obtain abortions, sterilization, puberty blockers, and sex change surgery without parental knowledge or consent. We have now become the most extreme abortion policy of any state in the country. should make us all sick. It eliminates parental consent for children to have abortions. It eliminates parental consent for minors to receive puberty blockers, underage sex change surgery, sterilization, and genitalia mutilation. It allows late-term partial birth abortions. It's the most extreme abortion policy, not just in the US, but in the world. This is no doubtly the greatest loss of parental rights out of anywhere else, out of all of our US history. If that doesn't shake you guys to the core, it should. As parents, if you have children in this state, you are not safe raising them here. I'm sorry to say that, but you're not. We're not. It terrifies me. This was not about reproductive rights. This was not about protecting women's rights to be able to murder our children. This was about taking away parental control. This has made it so there are no consequences that prohibits any accountability for an abortion clinic if they injure or even kill a woman in gross negligence. It takes off a lot of the regulations for abortion clinics, so we will have abortion clinics popping up in our communities. It will happen because the regulations are gone. We are now being touted as the abortion capital of the US. That it's going to bring in so much money. It will. It's going to soak Michigan with the blood of the innocent. That's what it's going to do. This wind thing has been crazy the past couple of years. I wish that there was more transparency. I do. But now I'm disgusted that I didn't put more of an effort towards speaking up for the unborn. Because here we are. We're lost. We've lost so much. How are we going to turn around from this? How are we going to repair from this? I don't know if we can. I just hope that each person individually goes out and is proactive in their community. You're proactive with your children, with your grandchildren, with your friends. Spread the word and stay strong. Thank you for your guys' service. Really appreciate it. 30 years. That's very impressive. It really is. It's amazing. I hope that you guys enjoy your retirement. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
Dave Myers, Winfield Township. First of all, I would like to start off by thanking the three of you for your time in the township, working as servants for the people. I know it's not easy. You know it's not easy. It's been difficult for you over the 30 years. This is one thing that you've had to deal with, probably like, as far as the wind goes. You know, the folks are talking about, is this the big divider? And I'd say it probably is. Like, it's a huge difference in our township. And we've been talking about that for 2 years. It's like, this is the biggest thing that we've seen in our township, and it created a divide like we haven't seen before. There's no doubt about that. Unfortunately for you guys, you happen to be caught in the middle of the divide. And, you know, the divide wasn't 100% 50-50, it was off a little bit. And you know, during voting this past week, we seen the difference. You can see it wasn't huge, but it's definitely a difference. Do we need to do something down in the future with green energy? We probably do, otherwise we're gonna be in deep trouble, right, over the length of time. I think, you know, Ryan and Julia and Ken have talked about more transparency. I realize, you know, Apex really came in here under the table, spent some time with the folks that own a lot of the land in our community, and were able to get you to feel like, I don't even know if I have a word for that, but it's just like, it just didn't seem like Apex was being very honest. And they helped create the divide. I want to thank you, I really do, because I know that you've dealt with lots of things, and we appreciate that. We have a long ways to go in our township. It's changing. You guys are still some farmer, you own some farmland, but there's also a whole other community that's growing in our township at the same time. And I'm hoping that the new board members will take into consideration all the things that you folks have done over the last 30 years of your time in office, and blend that in with the new generation of folks that are moving into this township, and create a township that everyone can live in and get along. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Juliet Winfield Township. So I also also would like to say thank you for your service. I believe that there were many years that you served the community well and did your best. I believe it was time for a change, and that we saw that in Tuesday's vote. I'm excited for the change. You know, I've had conversations with every one of you individually, John, Phyllis, and Colleen, that were respectful and productive. I remember, Phyllis, you asked me if I was interested in joining the planning commission. John, you asked me the same thing, and I was happy to do that. I'm excited about it, and I feel like I did my best. I'm thankful that for the support of everyone that voted for me to get me back into some sort of, you know, township position, because I feel that I have more to offer that I wasn't able to do once I was removed. But again, I want to say thank you, and I'm excited for the change. I hope the transition can be amicable. So, thank you.
Anyone else?
Trisha Corcoran, Winfield Township. I just want to thank not only you guys for your service, but for everyone here. The way that we have come together in the last couple years, we've been labeled by APEX as anti-wind people, but we're not. We're the residents of Winfield Township that care about what happens here. And the fact that everyone is here this morning on a Saturday morning just shows that we do care. And I just appreciate every single person that's here, no matter what your view is on wind. And I also am excited to see us move forward, develop a responsible wind and solar ordinance, and protect our township for the way we want it to be. So, thank you guys.
Anyone else?
Yeah. I'm Don Puskis from Winfield. I'm a veteran, so thank you for your veterans. It's here for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you. It kind of hits me strange that we got a meeting today after Veterans Day. It's Veterans Weekend, but I understand somewhat politics. And so I'm old, like some of you guys here were old enough to have been around the mill a little bit. We said it in the allegiance, we stand before God, indivisible, if we're together. Communication goes a long way. At my age, and some of you older ones, you know the same thing. We've got to communicate. But honesty is the best policy. Last time I stood up, I said something about that we cannot be telling lies. We won't get into heaven. That's the truth. I can say more about Bible, but you all know that. It's in the Pledge of Allegiance. We stand underneath God. God first, and then our neighbor, our family, then our neighbor. So, thank you for your service, the new guys coming in, and the community as we pull together. There's some of us that ain't been involved in meetings. I'm a trucker, retired 4 times, it didn't work. So, I'm still working, but not as driving, at least I haven't been hired. And I've met a lot of people in the States, run with some that were good friends. They're still good friends. I remember seeing some of you guys in church. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the camaraderie, whatever the word is. Anyway, so thank you very much. I'm looking forward. This here thing about abortion, that did disturb me. It does disturb me where our country's going, where Michigan's gone. I don't understand how the election went the way it did for the officials that are in calling bad shots. But they've got to answer to God, just like I do. If somebody twisted around what I said last time about lying, that you're going to hell if you have a believe in wind turbines. No, but you're not going to be with God if you tell lies. That's very plain in the Bible. That goes for me. So I've got to watch my walk and my talk, because I've got to answer to my neighbors, family. I've got to answer to God. And so I'm here to stand up and say, I'm with you, the one to shoot straight and be honest. But what lies ahead is we do have a fight, and it's against principalities, it's against evil and we have it amongst us, especially in Michigan, we're one of 3 states that went for this abortion thing, that the capital for abortion. That's sad, but, anyway, so where we all stand, I don't know y'all, but God bless you, direct us, let's go forward for him. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I just got one for the new board, hopefully, of us leaving the board, we have a lot of ancestries over in the Amble Cemetery. And that cemetery needs to be kept up. There's some roads, there's some gravel in there. That last spring, it got to be a pretty bad mess when there was a couple funerals. And I know there's gonna be a lot of work keeping track of all of where the lots are and stuff. I've heard so many stories of digging a grave and oops, we're on top of somebody. So I hope some special attention could be paid to some of this. I know Daryl Knapp did a lot for keeping track of things over there, and he's left us this last year too. And, but yes, the wrought iron out in front needs to be, it's rusting and it looks bad. I was hoping to get it done this fall, but hopefully next year I can get it done.
To add to that, the back fence there. Steve did a lot of job taking the trees and the brush out of there, and the lawn mowing didn't continue it, keep it down. Perhaps this spring, it can be, you can make sure that it gets taken care of. I mean, he did a good job taking the roots out and stuff, but I'm sure there's stuff there now that's grown back up, but anyway, there are some headstones back there too that were covered up by the brush, but, anyway, that's just another thing to add to that one. Is there anyone else with a comment?
Mike Paulson, Maple Valley. I'd like to thank the board for their service. I've been outspoken in meetings. I apologize for anything. I agree with everybody in this room, Steve, Jeremy. We're all friends and neighbors. We gotta pull together, get back together. I lay this really on Apex. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, if not, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. So moved.
Second.
They moved and adjourned, moved and seconded.